Everyone, and welcome to my channel, Cooking for the Family. I'm Devon, and today I'm going to share with you how to make my Toffee Crunch chocolate chip cookies. So first what I do is I take my mixer, and in my mixer I'm going to be using unsalted butter that's softened, and I have 2 sticks of unsalted butter. Now while my butter is blending, I have my dry ingredients. In my measuring cup, I have 2.5 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour. I also added in some leavening, and that was baking soda. I added in, it was 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and I just added in 1 teaspoon of salt. So again, in my bowl, I'm mixing with my fork just to blend my dry ingredients together, 2.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now once my butter is broken down a little bit and it's nice and soft, I went on and I added in my sugar. That was 1 cup of light brown sugar and then 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. So I have my 2 sticks of butter that's unsalted, that was soft, and that 2 sticks is equal to 1 cup. Okay, and then I added in 1 cup of packed light brown sugar, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and then I went on and I mixed those. You want to get those nice and whipped together so the sugar and the butter are well incorporated. And then I'm adding in my eggs. So for my eggs, I'm using 2 large eggs that are at room temperature, because room temperature eggs blend so much better into your mixes and into your batters and into your doughs. So once the eggs are in there, I go ahead, let my mixer go for a while. Now if you're using a stand mixer like I do like to stop my mixer from time to time and just kind of scrape down the sides of the bowl as well as the bottom, because sometimes things can gather at the bottom or around the sides. We want to make sure everything gets incorporated together. So I'll have my mixer on low, and then sometimes I'll bump it up to high. Now we're going to put in some pure vanilla extract, and we're going to be using 1.5 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Now this is a part of my 12 days of cookies and holiday treats, and what I'd love to do, and I started this tradition with my own family, probably it's been my kids were in elementary school and now all my kids are in college, so this was well over 15 years ago, where what we started doing was I started making different cookie doughs, and I'd make those on Sunday. And then I'd have about 3 or 4 different cookie doughs, and then the following day we would bake them off that evening when we're selling in at home. And then the kids, we put them in bags, and the kids would take them to their friends or their teachers, the janitor at school. So we would do that. I would take some to work, my husband would take some to work, and so it became a tradition that starting the 12 days prior to Christmas, that I would make or bake something homemade, and the kids would share it with friends and we'd share it with neighbors, and it really helped to kind of get us into that holiday spirit. And so it's my pleasure to share my family's tradition with all of you. So be sure to check out those other vlogs for Christmas cookies, holiday cookies, and treats. So I went on and I put in 1 cup of semi-sweet. Now actually you can use either semi-sweet or dark chocolate chips. So today I actually was using dark chocolate chips, which is the chocolate chips that say 63% cocoa. So I use those, and you can, if you don't have those, you can't find them, you can use the semi-sweet chocolate chips, but you want 1 cup. Then I also put in the Toffee Bits, and that was 1/2 cup of Toffee Bits. Now in the description box below, I will have a list of all the ingredients you need to make these Toffee Crunch cookies. I'm going to chill my dough for at least 1 hour, but you can do it for 2 hours or even overnight or even a few days. So our dough is out of the refrigerator. It has chilled up nicely, and you want to chill your dough because it's going to help your cookies keep their shape and not spread out too much on your cookie sheet. Now you want to bake these on if you don't have parchment paper or a silicone like I do, you can just bake them on your cookie sheet. Do it on the top rack. Okay, so that way your cookies come out nice and you don't want them to get overly brown. Now once I've scooped out my cookies, and for my scooper, the scooper that I was using is about a tablespoon and a half cookie scoop measure. Then what I like to do is I like to take more of the Toffee Bits, because we only put 1/2 cup in our dough. So I take more of the Toffee Bits and I press the Toffee Bits on top of my cookie balls, and then I also gently press down. You don't want to flatten the cookies totally, but you do want to gently press them down, because that's also going to help in the baking process. especially if your dough is super chilled or you've chilled it overnight or for a couple of days. It's going to be really firm, and so just press them down slightly once you put those toffee bits on. I bake my cookies at 350 for about 8 to 11 minutes. I'm also going to do a second batch. This is going to be enough dough for you to make about 3.5 dozen cookies up to about 4 dozen cookies, 4.5 dozen cookies. It makes a good amount of cookies. And so I went on and I put in my second batch as well, and I still have some dough left. My cookies have baked up for 10 minutes. They are out of the oven. They are looking good, and you want your cookies to have just a slight golden brown around the edges. Now this is some sea salt. This is optional. I have my sea salt grinder on the largest setting. I'm going to put just a tiny bit amount of some of the sea salt granules, some coarse sea salt granules. This little saltiness on the cookies really help to set them apart. And so that's optional. You don't have to, but if you want to do like half of the batch like that and the other half, you don't have to. But I like to do it while the cookies are on the sheet. So I do it right away, and then I go ahead and put my cookies on the cooling rack. These cookies are very special because they're part of a care package. Our good friends that we have known each other for a long time, and our kids actually grew up together from kindergarten on up. Her son has moved out of state, so the care package will be a nice surprise for him for his birthday, which happens to be just a few days before Christmas. Well, these are our cookies. I'm going to go ahead and treat y'all to the first bite. Go ahead and take your bite. Now I'm going to take my bite and see how we did. These cookies, those crunchy toffee bits, the rich chocolate, and that little hint of sea salt. I hope you give this recipe a try. And this is the wonderful package of the cookies, as well as also some sugar cookies that I put together in that box. Well, that is it for me today. Merry Christmas to you and your family, and happy holidays. Don't forget to check out the rest of my 12 days of cookies and holiday treats. Hit that subscribe button on your way out and show this video some love and give it a thumbs up. And remember, it's always good when Devon is cooking for the family. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.